Good morning. This is Shindo. Again, news that you're not going to hear on TV. Significant news. This is a follow-up of the news that I did late last night, about Syria and the United States and the troops in the United States called the United States troops in Syria called advisors. This is CNN. Top U.S. commander warns Russia and Syria. Now we're hearing it from the American side. If you want to hear this news, subscribe to my channel. Please like, comment, because that's how these news articles I do get in a position where you can actually see them. Subscribe to my channel. You're not getting this news on TV, despite the fact that it says CNN. This is going to be buried sometime today, about 3:33 p.m., middle of a Sunday. This is significant news. Again, top U.S. commander warns Russia and Syria. In the most direct public warning to Moscow and Damascus to date, the new U.S. commander of American troops in Iraq and Syria is vowing to defend U.S. Special Operation Forces in northern Syria if regime warplanes and artillery again attack in areas where troops are located. They attacked in those areas yesterday. We've informed the Russians where we're at. They tell us they've informed the Syrians, and I just say that we will defend ourselves if we feel threatened, unquote. Lieutenant General Stephen Townsend told CNN in a telephone interview Saturday from his Baghdad headquarters. Townsend is the first senior military commander to speak on the record about the U.S. possibly challenging the Syrian Air Force in the wake of the incident just 2 days ago. Townsend, who took command this week, made the remarks following what defense officials describe as a, quote, unusual incident Thursday, northern Syria, in which the regime of President Bashar al-Assad used warplanes to attack an area near where U.S. Special Operation Forces were operating in support of Kurdish forces, which are the American key ally in the conflict. Several U.S. troops had to be quickly moved up, and U.S. jet patrols over northern Syria have been beefed up. Townsend also said in an interview that he plans to keep up the pressure on ISIS and lay down an ambitious military goal. He told CNN he hopes the U.S.-led coalition can, quote, defeat ISIL in Iraq and Syria in this next year, unquote. Townsend emphasized he is aware that may be ambitious, but he added, quote, that is my goal, and I'm intent to do that, unquote. When asked how he would define the defeat of ISIS, the general said it would be when the so-called caliphate no longer exists and does not control significant population centers. Quote, do I think ISIL will be gone from Iraq and Syria, unquote, he asked, using another acronym for ISIS. No, but I want them out of the cities, quote unquote. Townsend was blunt in discussing the senior leaders of ISIS. Quote, I want them dead or on the run in a hole somewhere in the desert and significantly less of a threat, unquote, he said. Meanwhile, ISIS is still planning global attacks, Townsend said, adding that the group's leader, Abu Bakr al-Baghdadi, remains in charge and continues to issue orders that are communicated and followed. Baghdadi and other ISIS leaders are being, quote, actively hunted, unquote, Townsend said. The U.S. has long believed senior leaders are in or around the city of Raqqa in Syria, the ISIS-proclaimed capital of the caliphate. Townsend said local Arab and Kurdish fighters trained by the U.S. could start moving into the areas outside Raqqa in coming weeks. And in coming weeks, we can continue to see the culmination, the fomentation of a possible land war in Syria. Vietnam started with what they call advisors, American advisors. So the saber rattling is ratcheting up now by the Americans. If you do what you did 2 days ago, again, this coming from the commander of the forces in Syria, if you do what you did 2 days ago, Russians, Syrians, we will defend ourselves. It is a major news event going on in Syria, and are you hearing word one about it? It is the weekend. Now, we did find out that in Turkey last night there was an ISIS attack on a wedding party, and they focus on that for all of 2 minutes at the beginning of the broadcast, because it's just not important, folks. It's not important that we are looking at World War III. It's just not that important, folks. It's much, much more important to discuss what gaffe Donald Trump has said this week. If you want real news, you're going to get it here. Subscribe, click like, and comment on my videos. This is Shindo. Have a good day.